Welcome back again to another episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast. I'm excited that you have come back with me. Thank you. Real quick, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe. Please follow the podcast on YouTube, any podcast platform that you're on. If you wouldn't mind giving a rating, following, subscribing, giving a review, I would greatly appreciate it. It will just kind of help this podcast, this YouTube channel get towards the top when people are searching for this topic, and it would obviously greatly help me. So I'd appreciate if you could take a moment real quick to do that, subscribe, follow, leave a rating, leave a review, whatever it is, comment. It means a lot to me, so I'd appreciate that. Anyway, on this podcast, I thought I would talk about something that I've been doing in my latest meetup. So again, I do meetups locally in my area for notary signing agents. And I kind of go around all over the state, and I do these once a month. And the last couple months, I've been doing it on creating the ideal profile, because I was just kind of thinking it's a new year. At the time of this recording, I should say it is now March, but I did this in January and February, and it's the beginning of a new year. So anytime we're thinking of a new year, a lot of times I talked about on the podcast here, talking about resolutions and setting goals and so forth. But also sometimes it's a way to restart or start anew. And one way to do that is people think of different ideas, right? They want to I got fitness goals, I've got health goals, I'm going to deep clean the house now, I'm going to get rid of all this excess. And I just thought, well, also, maybe it's a good time to reevaluate your profile. So when signing services, when title companies, when law firms they're looking for notaries, they're usually on a platform of some sort. And so I just thought, hey, why don't we all just take a moment to just look at our profiles and all these different platforms and make sure they're up to snuff. All right, let's make sure they look the best. I'm going to give you guys tips. As a signing service owner myself, I'm going to share with you tips on what we signing service owners are looking for. Again, I'm in a lot of different groups and group messages with signing service owners, and I get to hear what they're looking for, what we all do. We all kind of talk with each other. We also share peak signing agents with each other. Like, hey, this person was great, this person not so great. Just so you know that these things get discussed sometimes, all right? I'm giving you guys the in scoop, all right? So I just thought, I got my keynote here on my computer, and obviously if you're watching or listening to the podcast, you're not going to be able to see my screen, but I'm going to walk you through all the notes that I have in my keynote presentation that I was doing at my local meetups. So real quick, you want to look at all the platforms you're on. Some of the common platforms that people are on are like Signing Order, SnapDoc, Signature Closures, Notary Dash, Notary Cafe. There's a lot of different platforms out there. Notary Rotary. I mean, there's just a lot. Notary 123, I believe is what it's called, is another one. There's a lot of platforms out there. And if you're not on these, get on all of these. There's a lot of platforms for you to get up on, because a lot of signing services or title companies, mortgage companies, law firms are all on these platforms. This is where they can look for notaries outside the area. And if you want to get, used a lot, I think it's important that you update your profile. So let's talk about this. It starts, the first thing we look at is your picture. It starts with a picture. If you don't have a picture, you might be hurting yourself. You might get more signings opportunities if you have a picture. Now, do you need a high quality photo shoot done? No, you don't need to. Does it help? It might. It does look more professional. I do like to see a professional looking shot more than somebody just smiling in front of a camera that someone took candidly at a park while they're wearing their baseball hat. I've seen some weird pictures, okay, to be honest with you. when I'm looking for signings, I have seen some weird pictures, and I really question, like, this is the picture you went with, huh? Because you probably could have done a selfie much better than this picture. I've literally seen people with hats crooked on. I've seen people like mean mugging the camera. Like, what are you doing? Why are you mean mugging the camera? So do professional headshots help? They might or might not. I don't know. I don't mind if it's just a simple picture of someone smiling, because I can see a smile and think they've got kind eyes. they've got a good smile. They've got a good personality. I feel like I can sense that from their picture. Like I can feel the energy from the picture. And if you're mean mugging, or you have a bathroom selfie and I can see the sink and the toilet in the background, I get different type of vibes, okay? There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, like a lot of these cameras these days, I believe, like I'm in the Apple ecosystem, and I believe they have like the setting for like portrait mode. It'll kind of blur the background. It'll kind of make you pop. That's free, right? That's just you just hit that setting and take a picture in the background. It could be a plain background. It could be like an American flag background. I mean, it could be something simple like that. And if you're just smiling, looking professional, again, you don't need to be wearing like a suit and tie, but if you just have at least like a decent top on, that will help you. That will definitely help you. It starts with your picture. And I've seen people use their driver's license pictures and profiles. Like, what? I've seen people use cartoon pictures. I've seen people use their logos. Use a picture of yourself. Okay, please. This will help you. All right. This is tip number 1. It starts with a picture. I know so many signing service owners who will not even look at someone's profile if they don't even have a picture. They won't even take the time or bother to even look at the profile if they don't have a picture. And I've been guilty of that many times. I'm not ashamed to say that. Have a nice picture done. You do not have to pay someone hundreds of dollars to get a professional headshot done. You don't have to. You can definitely do that, but you don't have to. Get someone with a phone with portrait mode. Have them take a picture in a nice clean background. Make sure your hair looks nice. Make sure you're wearing the best thing you can be wearing in your picture is your smile. Okay. All right, next one. Make sure all your credentials are up to date on a PDF. And they have to all be. Don't make one PDF. They all have to be on their own PDF. Make sure all your credentials are up to date. Your W-9. Have you moved recently? That's a big issue. That is a huge issue. I went to ACH because I had so many checks come back because people didn't update their W-9. So I was mailing checks to addresses that they hadn't lived at in years. They said, "Oh, you mailed it there? Oh, I haven't lived at that address for a year." Hey, wish you would have updated your W-9 on the profile. I wish I would have known that. So, the W-9s, make sure your address is up to date. If you've moved in the last year or two, maybe double check these. Make sure you have the right Maybe you've had payments. You're like, "Hey, I haven't gotten paid on this for months." Maybe they try to pay you. You didn't update your W-9. Okay. Look, that happens a lot. I'm on ACH now. I make people send me brand new updated W-9s and ACH forms. That way I can just pay them in direct deposit. All right, your E&O insurance. That gets expired every year. And if you don't update it on profiles, signing service owners can see if you've got an updated E&O insurance, background check, bond. We can see if these have not been updated. It will, like the platform that I use, it will block it out. It will say they have not updated these items. So your E&O insurance, that gets updated every year. Make sure you update that. Your background check, if you have to go through like the NNA and get a background check done in your NNA profile, like through signingagent.com, that's all owned by the NNA, okay? Make sure that's all updated as well. Make sure you've renewed your background check and you've updated or uploaded a brand new background check. Your commission's, I think it's everywhere. I think it's 4 years for everyone. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely in my state, it's every 4 years. And I get a matching bond that's also every 4 years. So make sure you renew that. Make sure you update that so you are getting more signings, so you even show up in search engines. Your driver's license, a lot of times they want that front and back of your driver's license. That gets renewed nowadays every 8 years. But if you've had it for a few years, it might be, if you haven't updated on a platform yet, make sure you have the most recent driver's license updated. So these are just things that you want to make sure, these are your credentials that you want to make sure are updated because they have to get renewed often. Again, this is your W-9, your E&O insurance, your bond, your background check, your commission, your driver's license. Okay, these are all examples of things you want to have on a PDF ready to go. And if you're using, like, for example, I'm also in the Google ecosystem, so I use Gmail, and there's a Google Drive or G Drive, and I have all of these credentials in a folder in my Gmail Drive. So these are all there. So if anyone ever needs a copy of it, I just go right in there. I don't need to refill it out. I have copies of these and I renew them every time it gets renewed. And make sure to keep them updated. So if you haven't moved, but maybe you are moving soon, make sure you update like your W-9, make sure everything gets updated in the system everywhere, okay? And then you're gonna have some basic information on hand, which is your name, your phone number, your mailing address, maybe your fees, your availability, part-time, full-time, the hours. Professional email address. I believe it's important to have a professional email address. We're going to talk about these all in a little more details. Let's first of all go into the phone numbers. Have your phone number there. If you decide to put your personal phone number, I've talked about this on another episode. It was the phone etiquette episode. In fact, I've got that one has one of the highest watched and listened to episodes, the phone etiquette episode. But go to that one, okay? If you are going to use your personal phone number in these platforms, in these profiles, you are putting your personal phone number, that's okay. That is totally okay. But just realize you are saying, contact me. If you put your personal phone number there, you are basically saying, yes, contact me for signings. So if you are going to do that, do not cause friction. Again, what that means, if you're new to the podcast or you didn't watch that or listen to that episode, when I say do not cause friction, I am talking about, I understand scammers are annoying and I get it. I totally get it. However, I still answer every single phone call as if it wasn't a scammer. Answer professionally. Don't do the whole, hey, we're screening your call. Please say your name and the reason for calling. You put your phone number there. You're the one that did that, okay? So if you're going to do that, don't cause friction. Because when I get those, please leave your name and the reason you're calling. I hang up. I do not do that. I don't play these games. I hang up. On to the next person. Do not cause friction. All right? So, have a professional voicemail. Leave a professional voicemail. Maybe you want to leave your business name, your notary name, or just even if you just say your name. Don't do the automatic one like you have reached and it says the whole 10 digits of your phone number. I hang up on those too sometimes. I don't have the time for that. I don't even know who I'm leaving a voicemail for. You're the one that put your phone number there, okay? Leave a nice professional voicemail that they know who they've contacted, and they'll leave you a voicemail, okay? But other options you can do. These are some other like separate business lines you can do. Google Voice has one. I've heard of the apps Cricket and Sideline. Also, a lot of phone providers, you can get a second SIM card put into your phone, and that would be used as it can be used for whatever, but you can use it as a business line. You could get two phones if you wanted. So these are just options for you if you want to kind of keep things a little bit separate. I did talk about that again in that episode, that phone etiquette episode. But anyway, if you're going to put your phone number, just answer it. Don't be angry like, hello. Don't answer it like that, okay? I've actually have been in Facebook groups and someone made that comment about how people answer the phone like that, and someone said, "Hey, you need to listen to DVO's Peak Signing Agents podcast about that." It's kind of funny. Email. Okay, if you're gonna have an email, definitely have a professional email address. It could be just your name. I mean, if you wanted, like, again, let's just use me for example. Derek at what? Okay, again, I use the Gmail or the Google ecosystem. Derek at gmail.com. I mean, that's fine. Or your name, right? Derek Van Otten at gmail.com. You can do that. You can also do something simple like Derek the Notary at Gmail. These are all free websites, but they still look professional, even though you're using a free handle like Gmail, iCloud, Yahoo, whatever, MSN. I mean, even though those are free handles you can use, you can still have like a professional looking email. Peak.signing at whatever. Like, these are just some examples, but do have a professional email and keep it separate. I would have a separate email app in your smartphone. So have your smartphone with the app that you use for your personal email, and then have a separate app that you use for business. That's what I would recommend, and that is what I do. But have a professional email. If you don't have one now, maybe now's a good time if you're going to update everything. Now to have a good time to have a good professional email set up, okay? And don't try to limit yourself unintentionally with your email address. Let me give you some examples of what I mean by that. Again, I'm based in Utah, so I'm going to use some examples here. that I was using during my meetups. But I was saying, hey, don't put your email address as Utah County Notary. Because what does that mean? Does that mean you only work in Utah County? Or does that mean you're from Utah County? Right? Because you might have unintentionally just limited yourself. Because if I look at that, I might think, oh, maybe they only do jobs in Utah County. But maybe that wasn't your intention. Maybe your intention was, no, I live in Utah County. And I kind of named myself the Utah County Notary. That's just an example. Don't unintentionally limit yourself. But if that was your decision, if you're like, hey, I'm going to be called the Utah County Notary because I only want to work in Utah County, that's totally fine too. What I'm just saying is don't unintentionally limit yourself. I have a notary here locally that I use a lot, and his email and business name that he goes by is After Hours Notary. And I'm just like, what does that mean? Does that mean you only work after hours because you have a full-time job in the day? Or does that mean you're being of such great of service because when the title, mortgage, when real estate companies, when they all close, you're willing to work after hours? I don't know what you're trying to do. You might have just limited yourself because maybe they think, oh, I need a signing at noon, but they're only after hours. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying is have a professional email address, but don't unintentionally limit yourself. All right, now you've got all your credentials up, you have your picture up, you've updated your personal information, and now it's time for your bio. Oh boy, the things I see in people's bios, they crack me up. Or things I don't see. If you do not put anything in your bio, that also might give high probability you will not get a signing. Me personally, and a lot of my signing service owner friends, we don't a lot of times just send out text blast or email blast. And if you're not sure what that means, on certain platforms, you can just hit find a notary within 20 miles of this signing address, and then it'll just send out blast texts and emails. And whoever responds first might get the job. Me and a lot of signing service owner friends that I have, we don't do those. We kind of pre-vet the notaries. So we look at all of their profile. That's what I'm saying. Make sure you have a picture, because that's the first thing we look at. Have the picture. And then have a bio. Make sure your bio kind of talks about you a little bit. So let's talk about your bio. Keep it short, keep it simple, and keep it to the point. Try to not make it more than a paragraph. Keep it short, keep it simple, and to the point. Meaning the point is you're a signing agent looking for signings. I don't care about your military history. I don't care about your previous job experience. I don't want a resume. I do not want to read a resume. I'm skipping through that. Okay? Keep it to a maximum paragraph. This is your selling point. What are the qualities you possess? What value are you bringing? This is the time to shine. This is where you can kind of state the things that make you stand out above all other signing agents out there. We don't want to hear how many kids you have. That's great. I love kids. I don't want to hear about all your kids in your bio, though. Okay? I don't want to hear how you are a real estate agent. That doesn't correspond to that you understand mortgage paperwork. I'm sorry. It just doesn't correlate in my book. From experience I've seen real estate agents make the most mistakes. They think they know it all. Most of them don't even take a training course because they think, oh, I'm in real estate. That doesn't mean you understand how to read mortgage documents. All right, I like to see people have taken a training course. In fact, that's one thing you can put in there. Have you taken the National Notary Association training course, the loan signing system course? If you put these in there, I like that. It shows me that you have taken steps to learn really well about mortgages and the documents and how to present them to the signers. So training courses. Are you bilingual? And what languages do you speak? Or are you multiple lingual, right? How is that a word? Multilingual? I don't even know. Put that down. What languages do you speak? How many years of experience do you have? What is your signing experience? Have you done have you done reverses, refinances, purchases, sales, commercial? Have you done a lot of different signings? I-9s? Have you done a lot of different signings? This is your time to shine. Now, you might think, I don't have much experience. Then make sure you take a course and say, I have completed these training courses. You don't need to say, I've done 500 signings, because again, you might not have updated it. And since you wrote that, you might have done now 1,500 signings. So I personally don't put numbers, but are you full-time? Are you part-time? You say, I like me, I think I might have a profile out there where it says I've completed thousands of signings. I just said 1,000. I didn't put the exact number. I've completed thousands of signings. I've been a full-time signing agent since 2017. Like, these are just examples you can put on there, right? Do you have a mobile scanner and printer? So anyway, I'm just giving you guys ideas that you can put in your profile. Pick out the things that make you stand out. Just pick a couple. And then format that into a couple sentences, into a paragraph. Again, keep it simple, keep it short, and to the point. The point is, we're talking about signings and notary service. I don't care about that you worked in the hospitality industry for 10 years. I'm sorry. I don't care. I want to know how much experience do you have with signings? That's what I want to know. Have you taken a training course? Do you have a mobile scanner? Are you full-time? These are the things that I want to know. These are things that stand out to me. So I want you to think of this. And I always like to think of putting myself in others' shoes. So this is what I always did. Before I had a signing service, when I was just a signing agent, I was always thinking, when I created my profile, what would a signing service, a mortgage company, a title company, what would they want to see in my profile? And I knew right away they didn't want to read a whole paragraph. They didn't want to read a whole book, They didn't want to read a novel about my life. They want to know how I can bring value, what experience I have. That's what they wanted to see. So I hope this helps you guys. This is the last couple months of meetup that I've done here locally in my area about creating the ideal profile to help you stand out, help you get more signings. Maybe it's been a while since you've looked at your profile. Now maybe is the time to do that. Take a minute, take an evening. After all your signings are done this week, after all your signings are done, and the family went to bed, go to your office or wherever you work from and look at all these different profiles. And you can do a simple copy and paste. Not a problem. Get all these PDFs ready, all your credentials, all your information, have these all ready on your desktop of your computer, have all these PDFs ready, have all your information ready, have your notes up, do some copy and paste stuff. All right? Take your profile bio, open up all these different platforms, copy paste, put your nice picture up there. Make sure it's like a recent picture. Hey, we change, all right? We change. Don't be catfishing signing services out there. All right, put your most recent picture up there. Look nice, look professional. Ask your spouse, ask your friend, ask your neighbor. Hey, can you take a picture of me real quick? Hey, do you mind taking a picture? I need a headshot for my business page. Look professional. Get a ton more signings for this year. It's looking good this year. I think signings are going to be great again this year. And you're going to crush it. I know it. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.